Welcome back to the UMR in Summary podcast. My name is Dallas Lance. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I work at North Dakota State University. And with me, I have,
Jessie B, she, her, hers, pronouns, Cornell College. What was the other thing you said?
and my other host is,
Nathan Dozier. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm assistant director over at Fort Hays State University. Maybe it was title. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what you
that's what
got.
it was. Yep. Associate director.
I don't think I said my title.
Oh, did you
Um,
not? Oh, we're not title dropping here.
I'm a hall director, but no, I mean, I'm pretty sure, and I'll just say it again. And people who listen will know exactly what I said, and they'll hear it again. I'm pretty sure I said, welcome back to the UMR in Summary podcast. My name is Dallas Lance. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I work at North Dakota State University. And with me, I have, and then I always toss it off to the next person.
It'd be really funny. Have you seen Invincible?
No, but are you talking about the filter on TikTok?
No, I don't know
Okay.
what that is. Um, Invincible, it's a superhero show. It's a cartoon. Honestly, it's not appropriate for this podcast. I'm not going to explain it too far. It's just very violent for a cartoon. But every single time, like for a little bit, they would do the thing where every single time they'd say his name, Invincible, they do a title drop instead
Yeah.
of saying his
Oh my
name.
word.
So when we say In Summary Podcast,
And that's what they do with the TikTok filters. Every time you try to say invincible, it hits the yeah.
I'm going to get TikTok just for that.
But no, the only thing I know about Invincible, and then we can get into what we're talking about today,
Uh-huh.
is if you guys know The Walking Dead,
Nope.
Negan kills Glenn. Oh no, spoilers. But I know that in Invincible, the voice actors of Negan and Glenn are in there, and Glenn gets to kill Negan in Invincible.
Oh, that's very
Yes.
funny.
That was actually once again, that is the last episode of the last season, so it's spoiling two shows right now. But I will say that the character that Negan voices is not someone who is relevant to the story up until the last episode of the last season so far.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
He has not been even a part of it yet, and it is beautiful. It's a great, honestly, if you're gonna watch Invincible, watch it
Okay.
because that was vilifying to watch.
Yeah. And today's UMR in Summary podcast is actually sponsored by Invincible. Thank you so much for sponsoring this podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Invincible.
Beautiful.
Yeah, prepare for my arrival is the line that he says. I was trying to find a way to make it higher education-y. Prepare for my arrival, residents.
Yeah.
That sounds really scary.
Yeah, it was. It was. He said, "Prepare for my arrival, worm." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
uh-oh, that's what someone says when they know what they're doing."
shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're talking about productivity and honestly our own personal hacks on how to get stuff done.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was a great transition. Thank you.
Yeah.
You've never had those before.
Ever. It's your first one.
Yeah. So I guess I'll ask you both. Just honestly from the start, do you have any like just random productivity hacks that you do to keep yourselves on task?
Yeah.
No, go. Go for it.
Yeah. I'll go first. I'm also never sure if anyone else can think as fast as I can, so I'll just always shoot in first.
Yeah, we can.
I thought so. Regardless, I have two concrete things that I do that help me stay on task and be productive the majority of a day or a week or a month or whatever. One, I think it's very helpful if you have significant tasks that you need to get done and you are unsure when you're going to have the time to actually do it, to just put a calendar, like put it on your calendar, like block off 2 hours to do the task that you need to do during that time, rather than just knowing that you have that free time to do that task. Because again, if your calendar is open, someone might schedule a meeting with you on your calendar of like, oh, they're available right now. But if you block that off, like this is a task that I need to do at this time, you at least won't get bothered from an official meeting, depending on like your want or need or accessibility to students or whatever. Maybe you'll have your door open working on this task and someone comes by, but it's less severe than, well, now you have an hour taken from that 2 hour chunk because you didn't block it off on your calendar. kind of thing. So that's one thing I like to do, especially like I like to plan ahead and like say I'm given a deadline of April 30th and I look at my calendar, I'm like, well, the only time I can actually work on this task is like April 22nd or something. I don't know. I'll go ahead and block it off like today, way in the future, like, oh, I'm going to work on it at that point, and then it's easy for me to just forget about it until I get there, kind of thing. So that's another conjunction of that. And another thing, I personally love the work that we do because I don't have to be behind a screen all the time. And what I like to do is if I feel like a task is gonna or is taking a lot of like time of just me sitting down, looking at screen, going away, doing it, I like to try to work in smaller other tasks that allow me to get up and be active within my community, whether that is like little like small things like doing a round of my community, looking at posters to see which ones are old, checking in on my RA's billboards, whatever it may be, finding those little small tasks that I can attach to the larger in my office tasks that I can like if I need a mental break, I can just pause what I'm doing in my office, get another task done that is me physically walking around that lets me step back from the mental just block of having to sit behind a screen for so long. So I think those are two things that I do that help me stay productive and on task.
Those are great.
Thank you.
I like them a lot. Okay, right off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. I feel like there's been a lot of things that have become so integrated that maybe I like didn't do them when I started, but now they're just habit. So it's taking me a little while to think. Um, One big one is I have a follow-up tab in my email. So every morning before I really start, like first thing I do usually is I categorize all my emails. I get rid of the ones that I don't have to respond to, and I put all of the ones that do need responses in the follow-up tab. And that way I have an empty inbox and I don't feel like there's all this pressure of having to clear it out before I can actually measure my responses rather than just like reacting to whatever's in my inbox, and the, ever increasing number. So, and I try at the very least before I leave on Friday to make sure that follow up is clear and I have a clear inbox. Um, it doesn't always happen, but I try. Um, Another thing I do, I use the app Asana for my to-do list. It's technically a team working app. So a lot of companies use it to like coordinate projects and who's doing what, but I just use it as my to-do list. It works almost the same as Google Calendar tasks. So if you're used to that, you should just keep using that, but I like having a separate tab for my to-dos. Um, Trying to think what else. Oh, my calendar link that's open to students has very specific times that they can schedule with me. Um, and I don't ever, unless it's an actual emergency, take same day meetings with students. Pro staff they can book, but I don't take same day meetings with students. And that's a policy that I'll hold to even if it's a little inconvenient because I don't want students to feel like they can access me every moment of the day. So.
I'm gonna look at Asana here in a sec, actually. I pulled it up just to see if it's something I could use.
Sweet.
Um, I like your same day policy. Unfortunately, my university has a very different idea of what my availability looks like, especially when it
Yeah,
comes to
fair.
students being able to reach me. They can reach me anytime I'm in the office,
Hmm.
but I don't really have a whole lot of hangups with that in general. My personal productivity would probably make some people keel over. Because I have all of my emails. My inbox has probably 30,000 emails in it. It
Okay.
not unread, but what I do
Yeah.
is if I'm not going to respond to it yet, I click it unread. I'll leave it
Yeah.
unread. I have a little five. There's five emails I need to look at right now.
Nice.
If it's from anyone in my office, it automatically gets ruled to a folder,
Hmm.
which means I don't get a notification on my phone.
Yes.
And I know that if anyone emails me outside of hours, it's not important enough for me to look at outside of hours. If someone texts me outside of
Mm.
hours, 100%, I'll do it, but they have to use it lightly. Or not lightly, sparingly. That's what I meant
Yeah.
to say. Don't
Yeah.
use it lightly, please. I don't want that. But my personal productivity is I see the number, I need to take care of that number. Once that number's taken care of, I'll look at my to-do list. If my to-do list gets taken care of and my number's taken care of, I've been productive today. That's it. There's no real big secret for me because honestly, it's a little whiteboard that I can write on and I have a little marker for it. This just replaced my sticky notes, and before that,
Nice.
I used to put sticky notes on my screen, and I wouldn't let myself look at my full screen comfortably until I got all of my things done because it was just a physical hindrance to me. But if I had to do something else, it's like, well, I guess it's going to be a little bit harder now, isn't it? So it's like a little game of who's going to give out first, my to-do list or me.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, gameplay sliders.
Hey, I have to. I like games too much,
Yeah,
and
fair.
the best games are the ones you play with yourself.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. There's no real. That's not relevant information. Don't apply that to anything.
It was
I
funny though.
I too
Thanks.
love a single player game.
Oh,
So,
sure do.
so I love playing with myself. All right.
Are
uh,
there are there productivity strategies, hacks that you wish you would have found sooner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish in college, as an undergraduate student, I used a calendar.
Mm.
I think most college students do this based on the fact that I just talked to my sister about this week,
Oh, yeah.
that they just memorize when they're supposed to go to class and then go because it's similar to high school. Like that's how you went to your high school classes, so that's how you do it in college.
yep.
I can't fathom keep like that probably held me back from doing plenty of things because I had this part of my brain that was just relegated to my schedule instead of just
Yeah.
writing it down and emptying it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, actually, like that's such a great point that I don't think I used a calendar until I was a professional. Like I
Same.
literally was just like, oh, I'm supposed to go, I'm supposed to be here at 9 a.m. I'll just be there. Like
right.
boom. And then I just went and like it just remember. Like I don't like I kind of used a planner, but not really. I was also a business major, and like that, we colored in class. Like the stereotype of like what do business majors do is correct. Like I didn't do anything, so like that's different. But yeah, no, I think it would have. I think I would have been such a. I mean, I was already really involved, but I think it would have been really much more efficient involvement
Mm.
if I
Mhm.
was using Outlook Calendar when I was an undergrad student.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I look back on that season of my life and I'm like, I don't know how that was possible. Um, because now I can't remember anything. Like, let alone my schedule. My to-dos fall out of my head, people's names fall out of my head. There's too much going on in there to try to memorize my schedule.
I want to. So I thought my memory was good when I was undergrad. I'm gonna say something, and it's not getting cut, and it should be cut. And it's honestly not. And it's related to the fact that my memory's not as good as I ever thought it was. So when I was a freshman, I there was a girl at Starbucks that every single time I talked to her for a pretty long time. And eventually, I gave her my phone number, and she and I talked about Smash Bros.
Cute.
And then there was someone else who I was friends with who I also gave my phone number to because we were friends. I thought she had a thing for me, but we were friends. But we also talked about Smash Bros.
Oh no.
And I couldn't remember either of their names.
Oh
I,
no.
I knew one of them's name was Cynthia. Wow, I shouldn't have said Cynthia. I meant Jim. Uh,
Mm.
Jim is how I will. I'll do that. So
It,
anyway,
yeah.
I got a text, not from Jim, and it said, "Hey, we talked about playing Smash Bros. I'd be really down to play Smash." Awesome. So I looked at that. I'm like, "Oh, that's the person I just talked to, who I just want to be friends with." So then I didn't respond. Then I get a second text from Jim, said, "Hey, me and my friends are meeting up to play Smash." Jim wasn't actually interested in me like I thought they were, and wanted to just play Smash Bros. And hang out with a big group. So I became friends with that group, and then blew it with Starbucks girl because I just couldn't remember names.
That's
And
so rough.
it haunted me for like a year.
Yeah.
Hey, you're happily married now, though, so it doesn't even
I am
matter.
happily married. That's why it's entirely irrelevant.
Yeah,
But Jim, I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. Jim still thinks about you.
Jim, I thought about you back then, but
Not now.
honestly, I still can't remember your name, Jim.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, no, your memory's not good enough. But moving on, I did want to ask, for your productivity moving forward, what are you wanting to use?
I, can you rephrase the question for a 5-year-old?
Yeah, um, you want to do stuff more. What's going to help you do stuff more?
Yeah, motivation, but that's not this topic. I need the motivation to exist, and then I can
Real.
get into doing more things. Um, I mean, I think I think productivity comes from your enjoyment of like what you are involved in. There's going to be things in the workplace that you have to do but you don't want to do, and you just have to get through it. But if you are able to sprinkle in other things that you actually really like doing, it's easier to get through those tasks that aren't great. So I don't really like conduct, and by don't really, I mean I hate it, and I can't
Mm.
wait to never have to deal with it when I am not having to deal with it anymore. Can't wait, whenever that day is. What I like to do, if possible, because I still have to have conduct meetings, I still have to do all that stuff. I still have to, that's just part of the job. I will sprinkle in, like if I have like two RA one-on-ones, say one's at like 2 and one's at 3 and they're half hours, if the conduct meeting and their schedule makes sense and I can squeeze it in that 2:30 mark that's between my two RA one-on-ones, I'll do that because like I'll be like I like this meeting. Damn, I have to do this meeting, but I can get through it, and then I have something after that I can enjoy as well. So just
Nice.
sprinkling in the good tasks around the bad tasks to make things just feel, I guess, better overall, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. That's great. I need to be way better at tracking what happens, and I've known this every year that I have been working in as a professional in higher ed. I need to keep better track of what happens in RA 101s, because I have the same conversation with three of them about like their personal lives sometimes. And then I forget which one I talked to, and it's a disaster. Also, sometimes they report me for things. This hasn't happened in a while, but and then I'm like, don't remember when that happened, so that's unfortunate. So I finally this year started using a spreadsheet for that instead of just a random floating Google Doc that I lose. Um and I think that that will help if I can be more consistent with it. I just haven't I'm bad at like sitting down at the end of the day and remembering the meetings. So, yeah, maybe I should put it on my to-do list that every day I need to update that thing.
So, what kind of spreadsheet do you use?
Just a Google sheet.
Because I know I had a previous coworker that for RA 101 specifically would use OneNote, and you can have your little tabs at each RA, and you can have all your notes on the RAs.
Oh.
So maybe that could even be helpful to switch to like a OneNote for your tracking of what's going
Yeah,
on in your
maybe.
meetings. So
That's a good idea.
I don't
Thank
do
you.
that. Yeah, no problem. I don't personally do that just because if I need to, I mean, specific to like one-on-one content conversations, like I'll just go back to like forms they've submitted if I really have to. And then I do this wonderful thing where people know I'm senile. And then I could be like, "Well, did I talk to you about this already?" And they'd be like, "No," or "Yeah." And I'm like, "Perfect. That's
I
awesome.
mean,
Thank."
I do warn my staff now that I'm hopelessly forgetful, and if they didn't email me, it didn't happen. Um,
Yep.
but you know, I still like to try, especially because someday, like eventually I'm gonna get my master's and I'm gonna be a counselor instead of what I am now, and I'm gonna have to remember my clients and what they said. And so one-on-ones and how they're going really doesn't bode well for that, and I need to get in better habits now.
I do tell my staff, if you tell me that I said something and I don't remember I said it and you didn't get it in writing, I didn't say it. Like, and
That's genius.
I'm not calling you a liar. That is not what's happening. But get it in writing when I say it if
Yep.
it's that important to you.
Yep.
Yeah, pull out your phone and record me. Then I'll know I
That's
said
fine.
it.
We're a
Yeah.
one-party consent state. You can record
Like
me for every single one-on-one.
like
I do not care. Like, what am I going to do? Complain to who? The governor?
which
Yeah,
is so
fair.
that rule because North Dakota is also like a one party consent state for recording. I think it's so
Oh, darling.
funny. I think it's so funny that that means like the recording party can consent, and then it's just like you they could just like
Right.
that doesn't make sense to me, but I get it kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, it's if basically it's saying that the NSA technically is violating the law and that's the only people doing it, but it's okay. I'm kidding when it comes to my NSA agent. You're a real one. I appreciate you. Thanks for not outing that I have to look up words in the middle of Discord calls with my friends because they sometimes use words that I've never heard in my life. And they're like, it's discontent, man. Like, I
Yeah.
know
Y'all are
what content
wild.
means. When you say discontent, it's gone. Don't know.
Oh
That's
my
not a real
goodness.
example. I know what discontent means.
Yeah,
You
you
sure?
say now.
Okay.
What I'm going to use in the future is I'm going to use two things. This is for the podcast viewers from last episode who actually watch every other episode.
Mm-hmm.
I am a MacBook baby, so I need to use Mac to be the most productive because I had to use Mac for all of my music stuff, so I'm
Mm.
most comfortable with it. That's for our last viewers because I said something about Apple in our last
Oh,
episode, and they'll know what
yes.
I'm talking about.
I
But do I have two MacBooks sitting right in front of me? Yeah. Did I just get my Windows computer replaced with a MacBook like this week? Yes, I did.
Yeah, I want to preface that being a MacBook baby is different than a Nepo baby. Just
And
for
it's also
anyone.
different than an iPad kid.
Yeah, we yes. Yeah, everyone. Okay,
Important distinctions.
I'm gonna do my best iPad kid cough right now for you guys for the visual viewers.
I'm so.
Cut it out.
Yeah, your mic is not picking it up.
No, it's
Yeah,
fine. That's why I said it's for the visual. It's for the
that's true. That's
visual.
true. I can also do my own impression. This is a remarkable, and this is the other thing that I would be using.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is actually super helpful when it comes to taking notes because then you're writing on like paper, but it's not really paper.
Yeah,
But
I need
this
to
isn't
probably get one
mine.
of those.
I didn't steal it. I was lent it, I suppose. That one's my wife's, and then my
Yeah, okay. I
boss
was
had one,
waiting.
and I could have also gotten his, but I got this one instead. And then the other assistant director took my boss's. So now we use Remarkables because it's just convenient. That's not good advice though. Remarkables are like way overpriced by like double.
Okay.
So buy the knockoff version.
What I'm
Oh yeah.
hearing is it's not a remarkable price.
It would be a remarkable price if Remarkable decided to be a sponsor of the UMR in Summary podcast. Hit us
We could
up.
even get a discount.
Yeah, you can hit us up at and I'm not gonna say my email. Hit us up on the UMR email.
Yeah. Leave a comment.
Yeah,
It's
leave a comment. We can connect there.
Yeah.
Honestly, if anyone wants to be a sponsor, Wendy's, leave a comment.
yeah, I do love a good baconator.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Oh man. What's next? What are we talking about?
We're talking about productivity. Honestly, I think we're really exemplifying it too.
Yeah, we got through that faster than we've done any other podcast.
There's
Pretty
no
sure.
way. There's no way we're already through the agenda.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
went
we
through the
are.
entire
Okay,
agenda.
perfect. Then I'm gonna throw in some content because that felt like 4 minutes.
I'm gonna go to the
Um,
bathroom real quick while you do that.
okay, sick. Actually, go for it. So I would like to. I'm gonna throw it to the viewer, and then I'm gonna just tell a story.
Okay.
For anyone who's listening or watching right now, would y'all be interested in us having a recurring segment on these podcasts of us talking about stories and situations that we've been a part of, like horror stories, in higher ed or just in general? We could work that. So if you're interested, comment down below. I'm in, dog. And so
Yeah, word for word.
I'm in
Verbatim, it
dog.
has to be I'm in dog.
And then also I will make sure to respond to your comment with a little bark, bark, a little bark,
That's horrifying.
And so I'll do that. Okay. But no, I want to throw a story in here. Whether or not it's true is for you to decide.
Oh
Uh,
gosh.
um, I don't understand fraternity life and culture. Okay.
Is
Um,
that a disclaimer or a
I'm in a fraternity right now myself. I was in a fraternity. I'm always in that fraternity because that's how brotherhood works.
yeah,
Okay.
that is how that works.
I am in a fraternity right now and always will be. I still don't understand. I guess I was gonna say fraternity culture. I can even broaden it to Greek life culture. I think it's a weird thing that we still I don't understand it much. Um, there was a interactive board that a staff member of mine created recently, just to celebrate the year. It's one of our last boards. Like people can write on it like their accomplishments of the semester or the year, something that they feel proud of that has happened, and that's fantastic. Congratulate yourself because you're not going to always have those people to congratulate you. So all that kind of good stuff.
Mhm.
Um, the first thing that was written on one of these boards was a like I'm not going to say it verbatim, but it was basically what I learned after the fact. Someone's fraternity brothers like just dogging on one of my residents on that floor, like just like making fun of them, and then they signed it with their fraternity like letters, which is so like why would you put your Greek letter like because
That's crazy.
we know who you are now. Like we're gonna do
Yeah.
some follow up. But
Yep.
like what I don't understand is like or this is just like friendships in general. Like why do guys specifically from my experience, why is friendship shown by just being assholes to one another? Like, why is that a thing? I do it sometimes still because that's how I was brought up, and I'm trying to outgrow that. But like, why is it like, oh my boys, man, we're boys, so I can like. It's like how like it's almost like siblings where like the big brother will make fun of the little brother, but if you make fun of the little brother, you're gonna get beat up by the big brother. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense either. Like, I don't know. I'm just like why. And then also this resident their plan is to live with the fraternity in the fraternity house next year. And I'm like, you want to be around folks that just dog on you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. So I just so confused. I don't get Greek life culture. Question.
Hi, Nathan.
Hi. Sorry, I arrived late. I
Yes.
was in between classes, so I had to hurry to this one. I apologize for being late.
No worries.
If it goes against my attendance, that is what it is.
Yeah,
I have two questions. Is that
for
all
sure.
right with one hand raise?
Yeah, we'll do
I'll
one
raise
at
a
a
second
time.
time
We'll
just
do
in
one
case.
at a time. Yeah.
My first question, or actually more of a statement, so I guess I only have to raise once.
Okay.
So my statement is I tell my friends that I love them all the time, and that's how we show our masculinity because we are not afraid to tell each other that we care for each other.
Which is how it should be. I agree. What's your
Yeah, it
what's your
should be.
what's your
My
question?
question is, or maybe this is also a state. I have no idea how we got here. I was gone for like I think 48 seconds.
It was longer than that.
Okay, maybe it was a minute and a half or two. Nonetheless, I apparently, how do we get there?
Yeah, I said I was gonna fill this space with content. I asked our community, our followers and subscribers or whatever that would they be interested in a recurring segment of like Residence Life horror stories, and if you are, comment down below. I'm in dog. And then I gave something that may or may not have happened recently.
Oh,
Uh,
that's
It didn't
fair.
feel like a horror story to me.
Well, yes, but like you're definitely like, but I view the way I view it as a horror story is if this dude he's like, yeah, I'm gonna live with these folks. What's gonna stop them from doing more things that damages his, I don't know,
Yeah,
psyche? That's a
I
horror story.
I see.
Living in in negativity.
By
Maybe
choice.
maybe horror story is strong. Maybe it's more like residential life, like commentary, like like
Mm.
just stuff that happens, and then we can kind of go over like what it is, like what our experiences with similar situations and how we would handle it.
Well, yeah, we would just do horror story for branding purposes.
Yeah, branding wise, yeah, we call it horror stories,
But
but they could be.
it's just commentary.
Yeah, I don't really need to hear like the absolute worst things that happen at your institution.
No.
That seems uncomfortable for you to share. And realistically, I
That is
don't think those
uncomfortable.
would be fun to talk about.
That's why I would turn off my light and we'd have spooky music.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Why? Why?
That's so intense.
That's true. That is.
Ooh,
Are you more
horror.
a horror light from the bottom guy or from the top?
I think a nice side, actually. No, if I had to choose I.
No, that's more the Batman.
Yeah.
I'm
Facts.
not what this. I'm not the hero this city needed or wanted. I'm the hero that this story gets. Wait, what? I don't even know it.
Sides don't really work. Like, see, like hold
Yeah,
on.
that that no, yeah,
Do
I
you see
like.
it? Like,
Yeah, that's good.
ooh, or is it more of a ooh, like
No, like
scary?
I think this is like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah. That's the vibe.
yeah.
Can you go from the top just so I can see the comparison?
No, this is like if I'm trying to be an influencer.
That's
No.
shoot, they really didn't fix the light for my boy.
And today on Residence Life Horror Stories, I'm going to talk to you about how I don't know, but no, dude, I don't. I
How
love
the
the
team
shadows.
group in my early college program fell apart.
Ooh, look at the shadows right now.
That's terrifying.
That is actually, you are the scariest person I've seen on this podcast so far.
We've
We've had one guest.
had two. Cole was a host.
Yeah, it's
We've
true.
had one guest.
We've had two total.
Yeah.
Who's the? We had Hannah and who else?
MJ.
Oh my God, I forgot. I'm so sorry,
Oh,
MJ. You're doing fantastic work.
that was
MJ,
before my
I didn't
time.
forget.
No, you're doing fantastic. New position, new institution. Yeah, for real.
We love MJ. We miss MJ.
And Hannah's doing great work too. Love Hannah.
True.
Love Hannah.
Yeah,
Hannah's doing great.
yeah, yeah.
I guess someone else can summarize the situation.
So
There's gotta be more we could talk. Like we didn't even talk about productivity.
Yeah, we did. We talked about our
we
productivity
absolutely did.
style.
Kind of.
We talked about
Kind of.
productivity, like our tips and tricks. We were talking about productivity hacks. That's gonna be the title of the episode. It's
And
hack.
we were productive and efficient. So
Yes.
I
in
don't know.
summary,
I don't know about that one, Chief.
you know what,
You're
Dallas?
the one who wanted to talk about horror stories. That was you. You could have talked about productivity when I left. Why didn't you do that?
So in summary, this is my last podcast. I am leaving the team. I'm gonna
That's
do
not true.
I'm doing a subsection new podcast. It's gonna be called After Hours, and it's gonna be all these topics, but actually giving my true opinions.
And our podcast is gonna get shortened significantly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
my personal podcast is going to be with my friend Alex. It's going to be about music. It's going to be called Carpe Diem sometimes.
Okay, so
okay,
they're
self
both leaving,
promo.
and I'll be your only host next time.
You remember you are like 2 podcasts ago. You said, and
I
I'm your
was.
host.
That was
No,
me.
no, Jesse did that first, and then you made a joke about it.
No, it was the other way around.
No,
Because
it wasn't.
I recorded it.
No, I know exactly. Jesse said it first.
I feel like it was me, but I could be wrong. In any case, next time I will really be your only host. In summary, uh, be productive. And here's all of these strategies that you can. Now you have no excuse.
Summary: drowning, swim. just do
We
it.
threw you so many little
Nike,
life.
baby.
Just do it. Also, men should be kind to each other if they want to stay friends.
No, I'm saying, bro. No.
No. That was a summary. You don't get to go off.
No, let's talk about the toxic masculinity in today's society.
That's your podcast next
Hit
time.
recording stop. Hit recording stop.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.